Dr. T. Jayalakshmi, Professor, Department of Genetic Engineering, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai 73, is going to handle the course Genomics and Proteomics, course code U18BCGE403, topic Chromosomal Aberration. So chromosomal aberration mainly involved in the cytogenetics and it comes under the major category karyotype. So karyotype is nothing but the microscopic examination of chromosomes. So in microscopic examination of chromosomes, we can see the karyotyping of the most of the chromosome and the main feature to identify and classify chromosomes or depends upon the size, location of the centromere and also the banding patterns. So in this diagram, we can see about the G-banded metaphase chromosomes. There will be a group banding of metaphase chromosomes are there. So it mainly consists of 22 stages. It mainly depends upon the trisomy and diploidy. So here 1 to 22 stages of chromosomes, metaphase chromosomes are available, which is depends upon the X and Y chromosomes. So next coming to the chromosomal aberration. So chromosomal aberration is nothing but the mutation which takes place in the particular type of chromosome and it is a substantial changes in chromosome structure and it affects typically multiple genes which is called as loci. So loci is nothing but the affecting the multiple gene types. Chromosomal aberration occurs due to the error in cell division. So in cell division, there will be a non-distinction of chromosomes and chromatids will take place. So this chromosomal aberration mainly depends on the various types like various factors like maternal age and also the environment. So it mainly depends upon the various factors like pH, temperature and also the parameters which covers the environment. And aneuploidy is nothing but the meiotic non-disjunction during the oocyte maturation. So in relationship between age and aneuploidy, so older mothers are morely likely to produce X, oocyte X, and then trisomy 21 is the best example for the relationship between age and aneuploidy. So in aneuploidy, due to meiotic non-disjunction in oocyte maturation will take place. So in this graph, we can see in x-axis will be age of the mother and in y-axis infants with Down syndrome will take place. So per 1000 births are taken. So here we can see the graph is gradually increasing. So the when the age of the mother increases, the production of oocytes will also decreases. So at the 20th age, there will be production of 1 by 1925 eggs are there. And in 25th age, there will be 1 by 1205 oocytes will be produced and at the 30th age 1 by 885 eggs are produced and at the 35th age 1 by 365 eggs are produced and at the 40th age 1 by 110 eggs are produced. So when the age is increasing, the oocyte formation along with the infants with Down syndrome will also increasing. So at the 45th age 1 by 32 eggs are produced and at the 50th age 1 by 12 are produced. So this kind of age increasing will affect the infants with Down syndrome. So we'll be having more number of children with which is having Down syndrome. So this graph represents about per 1000 births only. And the next one is meiotic non-disjunction generates an aneuploidy. So there are two types of division will be takes place in meiosis. So first division non-disjunction and also the second division disjunction. So in first division non-disjunction, so first we are taking the normal disjunction process. From that haploid gamete trisomic, two types of trisomic are produced. Here the aberrations will be there. So there will be formation of two trisomes and also two types of monosomes. So we can see that in first division, so in only the normal disjunction will be. In abnormal disjunction, there will be no formation of gametes like trisomes or monosomes will be produced. So gametes is absent in the first division non-disjunction, which is called as first meiotic division. And in the second division of non-disjunction, there will be a second division non-disjunction. You can see the gametes are present in the sheet. So in normal disjunction, which is of two types, that is, it will produce normal disomic and haploid gamete. And the second division of non-disjunction, it will produce the trisomic and monosomic. So here you can see in the second meiotic division, there will be the production of haploid gamete, disomic, trisomic, and monosomic. But in the first division of non-disjunction, there will be only the production of trisomes and monosomes. But in second division of non-disjunction, there will be production of disomic, trisomic, and monosomic will be there. These types of trisomic, two types of trisomic and monosomic production are called as zygotic ploidy, and the production of haploid gamete along with the normal disomic and the trisomic and monosomic are called as zygotic ploidy method. Next, coming to the types of chromosomal abnormalities. So, chromosomal abnormalities mainly depends upon the physical structure and also the number. So, there are two types of chromosomal abnormalities are there: numerical abnormalities and structural abnormalities. So, numerical abnormalities are of two types: aneuploidy and polyploidy, and structural abnormalities is of four types: deletion, duplication, inversion, and translocation. So, deletion, duplication, inversion, translocation, it depends upon the structure of the chromosome. So it alters the chromosome structure. But coming to the aneuploidy and polyploidy, it affects the numbers of the chromosome. So which is called as numerical abnormalities. Numerical abnormalities is of two types: aneuploidy, hyperploidy. And in aneuploidy, there will be the variation in the number of particular chromosomes within a set. And aneuploidy is of two types: hyperploidy and hypoploidy. So hyperploidy means gain of chromosomes. So in gain of chromosomes, we will be adding the number of chromosomes. So which is called as trisomy, double trisomy, and tetrasomy. So in trisomy, you can see that we are adding the one number of chromosomes along with the two number. So 2n plus 1, it is called as trisomy. And in double trisomy, 2n plus 1 plus 1. So in this, we are adding two types of two amount of chromosomes, that is 2n plus 1 plus 1. And in tetrasomy, we are adding two chromosomes, which is called as 2n plus 2. So hyper means there will be the gain of chromosomes in the number. And it was three types: trisomy, double trisomy, and tetrasomy. And the next one is hypoploidy. So hypoploidy is nothing but the loss of chromosomes. So loss of chromosomes is of three types: monosomy, double monosomy, and allosomy. In monosomy, we are reducing the number of chromosomes. That will be one number of reduction in monosomy, which is called as 2n minus 1. And in double monosomy, we are losing two number of chromosomes. So 2n represents the number of chromosomes. So minus 1 and again minus 1 represents the double monosomy. And in allosomy, there will be the reduction of chromosomes like 2n minus 2. So here in aneuploidy, we'll be having two types, which is called as the variation in the number of particular chromosomes within the set. So next one is polyploidy. Polyploidy means it is the condition in which the cells have more than two homologous sets of chromosome. So triploid, tetraploid, and pentaploid. So there are three types of polyploidy, that is triploid, tetraploid, and pentaploid. So in triploid, three numbers of chromosomes are available. So sets. So n refers to the homologous sets. So in triploid, there will be three number of homologous sets of chromosomes are available, and in tetraploid, four number of homologous number of chromosomes. Here there will be no set formation. So in 4n, there will be formation of two homologous sets of chromosomes are produced, and in pentaploid, five numbers of homologous sets of chromosomes should be produced. So in this structure, we can see the chromosome composition, so which is taken in the fruit fly Drosophila melanogaster. So in the first one, we will be seeing about the normal fruit fly, so which is having the diploid. So in this diploid will be two number of cells is available. So again, it is divided into polyploidy and aneuploidy. So in polyploidy, there will be three sets of chromosomes are taken, and it is again divided into tetraploid. So four number of sets is available. So in aneuploid, trisomy 2 is available, which is called as 2n plus 1, and also monosomy 1, 2n minus 1 is available. So next one is the variations in aneuploidy. So first one, we are taking the normal chromosome composition, which is called as diploid. And the diploid is again divided into polyploid and aneuploid. So in polyploid, more amount of chromosomes are available, and it is again divided into triploid. In triploid, we will be seeing three sets of chromosomes. And in tetraploid, four numbers of chromosomes is produced, which is called as the variations in euploidy. And then in variations in aneuploidy, leads to the trisomy 2 and also the monosomy. So trisomy 2 means 2n plus 1 and monosomy 1 means 2n minus 1. So if there is a increase in the age of the women, there will be a more amount of Down syndrome is produced in the infants, so which is called as Klinefelter syndrome 47. So if there is a aberrations in the 47th number of chromosome is available, it is called as Klinefelter syndrome. So Klinefelter syndrome mainly leads to the aneuploidy of sex chromosome and occurs in 1 in 500 to 100 children, and it is sterile, and there will be no obvious facial dysmorphy is produced, and the symptom includes narrower shoulders and wider hips. So these are all the symptoms mainly included in the Klinefelter syndrome. So in this diagram, you can see that aneuploidy of sex chromosomes. So at the time of 500 to 100 chromosomes, which is attacked here, and this should be done in the sterile conditions. So up to 22 chromosomes, we can see it here. So and at the last, there will be the production of sex chromosomes. So if there is an aberrations in this type of sex chromosome, there will be no obvious facial dysmorphy, and the narrow shoulders along with the wider hips will be produced. So Klinefelter syndrome also leads to the many symptoms in women, like frontal baldness is absent, and a tendency to grow fewer chest hairs, and breast development, and female type public hair pattern, and a small testicular in size, poor birth growth, and narrow shoulders, wide hips, and also long arms and legs. So these are all the symptoms we can see when there is a chromosomal aberration takes place in the 47th chromosome. So smaller testes and penis, decreased sexual interest, weaker bones, lower energy, breast growth, less facial and body hair, reduced muscle tone. So these are all the symptoms in women which leads to the Klinefelter syndrome. And the next one is Jacob syndrome. So Jacob syndrome, there is an aberration in the 47th number of chromosomes. So aneuploidy of sex chromosome is available and aggressive due to high level of testosterone. So there will be the production of more amount of testosterone, which is called as Jacob syndrome, and which is prone to violent wife beating. And adult male could be more impulsive and emotionally immature. So this type of chromosome aberration mainly leads to the various syndromes like the Klinefelter syndrome and the Jacob syndrome. So how to tell if your child is a serial killer means it mainly depends upon the DNA and also the chromosomes. So when there is an mutations occurring in this type of chromosomal level, so this kind of syndrome will be produced, which affects the mental and physical health of the infants and the women. So the principle behind Jacob syndrome is, so you can see it in the diagram. So it occurs in 1 in 100 of particular women, and the lanky, clumsy, uncoordinated kind of genes can be seen, and dyslexia, which is developing reading disorder, and a problem in motor coordination, behavioral problems like behavioral tantrums, more impulsive, emotionally immature. So you can see the arrangement of genes in Jacob syndrome. So X and YY chromosomes will be a question mark. So if this X and YY syndrome get interrupted, it leads to the behavioral problems and also the dyslexia. There will be difficulty in reading. So and also in children there will be some behavioral problems when compared to the adults. So in adults there will be more amount of uh, emotionally immature, but in children there will be some behavior problems like behavioral tantrums, more impulsive, they will get angry very easily, and also emotionally immature. So if they are undergoing any particular environmental influences, they are they're behaving more immaturely, emotionally immature. And the third one is Turner syndrome. So Turner syndrome, where there is here. chromosomal aberration takes place in the 47th chromosome. So aneuploidy of the sex chromosome is produced and demonstrate visuospatial deficits, including poor handwriting and likely underdeveloped arithmetic skills. So most of the children are having the visual defects due to planning of more working in the mobile, and also they'll be having poor handwriting. So this type of poor handwriting and the visual spatial deficits mainly depends upon the Turner syndrome. So you can see it in the diagram. The 17th 47th chromosome will get affected, and if it gets affected, it leads to the more visual spatial deficits, including poor handwriting and also the underdeveloped arithmetic skills. So Turner syndrome, it mainly depends upon monosomy. It not depends upon the diploid or trisomic. So in Turner syndrome, the symptoms include short stature, ovarian failure, otitis media. Otitis media means there will be deficit in the ear, and also early OM TS could lead to the dyslexia. So there will be the reading disorder. So you can see the physical structure of the infants and adults where there will be short stature. So when compared to the others, the physical tendency is very low, and there will be ovarian failure, and there will be ear development is very low, and early OM in TS could lead to the dyslexia. There will be reading disorder. So this kind of Turner syndrome affects most of the children, and they are facing more reading problems and ear problems. And the next one is Patau syndrome. So Patau syndrome mainly having defects in the trisomic level. So there will be severe intellectual disability will be there, and also there is an physical abnormalities in many parts of the body, like heart defects, brain and spinal cord abnormalities. So this Patau syndrome mainly leads to the severe intellectual disability, like the reading problem and also the various writing problems. So the children cannot listen to the teachers what they are saying, and there will be some special activities we have to give to the children when they are having this kind of Pato syndrome, and physical abnormalities like short stature, and also the mind is not that much good. So these are some physical abnormalities where they cannot see the physical abnormalities in many parts of the body, and also important abnormalities like heart defects, brain and spinal cord abnormalities may also develop in Pato syndrome. So in this diagram, you can see the symptoms of Pato syndrome, like small head is absent, eyebrows is absent, cleft lip and or palate, and also the underdescent or abnormal testes, clenched hands and polydactyly. We can see that most of the children are having this cleft lip or dysplastic or malformed ears, and a small edge is absent, and also the eyebrows are absent. So this comes under the Pato syndrome, where the trisomy chromosomes get defected. So very small or poorly developed eyes, which is called as microphthalmia, and extra fingers or toes will be produced, which is called as weak muscle tone hypotonia. So in Patos syndrome, there will be the children is having physical inability, and also poorly developed ears and eyes. So next important one is Edwards syndrome. So Edwards syndrome also produced due to the aberrations in the trisomy level. So intestines protruding outside the body, and intellectual disabilities will also be there. Delayed development of the chromosomes is available, and feeding and breathing difficulties. So in the diagram you can see the Edwards syndrome, where the more amount of chromosomes will get affected. So intestines mainly it affects the stomach portion. So intestines protruding outside the body, which is having intellectual disabilities, and also the delayed development, feeding and breathing difficulties, which leads to the mental inability and also the physical inability of the children and adults. So Edward syndrome is having small mouth. In infants, we can see the small mouth, small jaw, short neck, shield chest or a short and prominent sternum, and wide set nipples. And also the back part of the skull is prominent, and dysplastic or malformed ears can be seen. Clenched hands with overlapping fingers can also be produced. So flexed big toe, prominent heels can be produced. This kind of syndrome is correlatory called as arthrogryposis. So arthrogryposis is a disorder, muscle disorder, which causes multiple joint contractures at the time of birth. So at the time of birth, the infants may have this type of difficulties. So the physical abnormalities will be very high if they are having the Edwards syndrome. And the next one important syndrome is Down syndrome. So Down syndrome are produced mainly by causing the defects in the trisomy chromosome. So physical growth will be delayed. So some children are very short in stature. So they are called as physical growth delays. So after they have attained the age, there will be some physical growth delays can be seen in the persons, mainly in the female children. So severe degree of intellectual disability will be there due to this Down syndrome, and a delayed mental and social development like impulsive behavior, poor judgment, short attention span, low learning. These were some abnormalities and mental delayed mental and social development. So you can see it in the diagram. The Down syndrome can be produced from the 6th to 22nd number of chromosomes, and this X and Y chromosomes will be mutated, so that the physical growth will be delayed, and 17th and 18th will having the X and Y chromosomes, where it cannot be lead to the further development. So it leads to the severe degree of intellectual disability and also the delayed mental and social development. So apart from this impulsive behavior, poor judgment, short attention span, slow learning, they will be having sleep apnea. So sleep apnea is nothing but the sleep disorder categorized by pauses in breathing or instances of shallow or infrequent breathing during sleep, and also they'll be having dementia, so decline in mental ability severe enough to interfere with daily life, and also the memory loss. Along with this, they'll be having hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism comes under the active thyroid. So hypothyroidism, we have to check T3, T4, and TSH, and also we have to take medicines regularly. So in this hypothyroidism may lead to the more amount of disorders like sleep apnea, dementia, and also the hormone imbalance in the female children. So we have to treat this Down syndrome at the proper time. Then only we can able to produce more amount of oocytes. And the next one is effects of nullisomics. I said that nullisomics means we have to, there will be reduction in the number of chromosomes. So if there is a nullisomics, so there will be in plants, now we can see it in the plants. So dwarf, less tillering, female fertile, male sterile, and allness. So these are all the various symptoms of nullisomics. So nullisomics refers to the mutants of the ear in wheat. So in the right hand side, you can see the diagram of wheat, where it is mutants of the ear in wheat, Triticum aestivum is seen. So ear shape of the wild type WT and of several mutants lacking single pairs of chromosomes is called as nullisomics. So due to the hexaploidy, the lack of a pair of chromosomes is tolerated, and the effects of this type of nullisomics are usually different, though the stunted growth is usually one of them. So there will be the short impotence when seeing in the nullisomics. So they have taken the wheat as an example. So ear shape of the wild type, and several mutants are lacking the single pairs of the chromosomes. So you can see there will be a dwarf position of the plant when there is a nullisomics. So the next one is polyploidy. So polyploidy occurs with more than two sets of genome. So it is more commonly seen in common plants which are asexually propagated and infrequent in animals. So this kind of research is going on in polyploidy mainly in plants because they will be having more amount of asexual chromosomes. So this kind of plants are asexually propagated and infrequent in animals, and it will be producing for sexually reproducing organisms, and also sex chromosome balance must be maintained. So how can we detect this type of polyploidy means? So there will be change in morphology, change in fertility, and also the change in interspecific cross ability. So this kind of detection in polyploidy can be taken into account, and where there are two set of genomes are produced mainly in the plants. So it will affect the sex chromosomes mainly. So after it is affecting the sex chromosome, there should be a balance in the maintenance of these two types of genes. So in this diagram, you can see the tetraploid plants examples like potatoes, onion, and also some other type of fruits, apple, and also banana. So triploid plants means there will be the addition of chromosomes. That is the three number, and also you can see the cotton plant as a tetraploid plant. So benefits of odd ploidy induced status. So seedless fruit can be having the odd ploidy induced stress like watermelons and bananas, and also the asexually propagated by human through cuttings. So seedless fruit can also having this type of triploid plants, and seedless flowers like marigold flowering plants can also be having the odd ploidy induced stress, and prevention of cross pollination of transgenic plants can be seen by using this odd ploidy induced stress. So this is about the numerical abnormalities. So after that, coming to the structural abnormalities. So I already said that there will be four types of structural abnormalities in chromosomes. First one is deletion, duplication, inversion, and fourth one is translocation. So deletion and duplication determines the amount of genetic information in the chromosome can be changed, and inversion and translocation determines the genetic material which remains the same but it is rearranged. So in deletion, there will be the deletion of this chromosome will occur, and a duplication, so duplicating, so again and again it will be repeated. So the chromosomes will be repeated again and again, which is called as duplication. So inversion means, so for example, if you're taking A, B, C, D, E means, so there in inversion, so there will be E, F like that, E, F, C, B, A like that it will come. It is called as inversion process. And in translocation, the complete set of chromosomes will be translocated into the another part of the chromosome, which is called as translocation or rearrangement of genes. So in this you can see about the deletion. So deletion is nothing but a loss of region of chromosomes. So it is an achromosomal deficiency occurs when a chromosome breaks and a fragment is lost. So in this diagram you can see the deletion method. So single break is there in the first genome. Then after that a single break, it is lost and degraded, which is called as deletion method. And then a terminal deficiency will be occurring. So next one is interstitial deficiency. So two breaks and reattachment of outer pieces will be there. So lost and degraded. So which is called as interstitial deficiency. So deficiencies due to deletion or phenotypic consequences of deficiency mainly depends upon the size of the deletion and functions of the genes deleted. So which is called as terminal or interstitial. So in terminal, we'll be having the phenotypic consequences of deficiency, which depends upon the size of the deletion, functions of the genes deleted, and also phenotypic effect of deletions, usually detrimental. So and the next one is Cri-du-Chat syndrome. So in Cri-du-Chat syndrome, we will be taking the high-pitched cry of the infant, and intellectual disability of the infant can be seen, and a delayed development of various organs, and they'll be having small head size, low birth weight, and a weak muscle tone in the infants can be determined in the Cree-D2 chat syndrome. So D-George syndrome is an important syndrome because during deletion process, this D-George syndrome is very important. So where it will be having the long arm of chromosome number 22 will get mutated or affected. So due to this D-George syndrome, the congenital heart diseases like ASD will be produced, ATL, uh, uh, Down syndrome will be produced, and cyanosis, learning difficulties, psychotic disorders will also be seen in the most of the infant. So this congenital heart disease can be treated by using some stents and all. So if it is determined in the earlier stages, it can be treated as early as possible. But if it is if it is known in the older age, so it will be difficulties to treat this congenital heart disease. So if the symptoms occur like coughing, shortness in breath, we have to go for the regular health checkups and also the take the ECG and echocardiogram to analyze what is the difficulties for this. The next one is Engelmann syndrome. So there will be the deletion in chromosome number 15. So if there is deletion in the chromosome number 15, we'll be having Angelman syndrome, and it will give uncontrolled laughter, but there will be no speech development. So this comes under the mental disability. And the second one is duplication. So in duplication, chromosomal duplication mainly caused by abnormal events during recombination process. So here, misaligned crossover and duplication and deletion process. Misaligned crossover leads to the duplication and also the deletion process. So duplication means small duplications often are not accompanied by a phenotypic effect, and large duplications produce phenotypes through imbalanced gene dosage and tend to be less detrimental, which constitute the major force of genome evolution. And the third type is inversion. So in inversion, I said that two types of inversion are produced, pericentric and paracentric. So in pericentric, which involves the P and Q arm of the chromosome, and in paracentric, it involves only on either P or Q. So in inversion, a segment of chromosomes that is flipped relative to that in the homolog is seen, and two breaks in one chromosomes is available, and the fragment generated rotates 180 degree and reinserts into the chromosome. So in inversion, it arises from the chromosome entanglements and breakages during meiotic prophase, and also from recombination between transposable elements, and it also causes linear rearrangement of genes in a chromosome. And inversion heterozygotes, a loop forms from the pairing of the inverted and non-inverted regions will be produced. So there will be four types of inversion are there. Normal chromosome is converted to pericentric and paracentric and also the inverted region. So here you can see the differences in pericentric inversion and paracentric inversion, where the inverted regions are indicated in the blue color. The next one is translocation. So in translocation, when a segment of one chromosome becomes attached to another one, it is called as translocation process. So in reciprocal translocations, so two homologous chromosomes exchange genetic material, and it mainly generates a balanced translocation. Because in reciprocal translocation, there will be a balance between the one genetic material and another one. So there will be balanced translocations takes place in the reciprocal translocation, and it is having usually without phenotypic consequences, and it can result in the position effect. So this diagram shows the reciprocal translocation. So in reciprocal translocation, chromosome 4, chromosome 20 is involved. So chromosome 4 and chromosome 20 is converted into the stable form, like a derivative chromosome 4 and derivative chromosome 20. So reciprocal translocation involves two chromosomes, which is having one break in each chromosome, and the two chromosomes exchange broken segment. So you can see the difference between before translocation and after translocation process. So this is called as reciprocal translocation. And Robertsonian translocation is the best example for the translocation of chromosomes. So it is named after W.R.B. Robertson, who first identified them in grasshoppers in 1916. So it's the most common structural chromosome abnormality in humans, which is having the frequency 1 by 100 live births. So in the diagram, you can see that structural chromosome abnormalities is lost. So it involves two acrocentric chromosomes. So two types are there: homologous acrocentrics involved and non-homologous acrocentrics involved. So first diagram shows the homologous acrocentrics involved and the chromosomes are lost. And the second one is non-homologous acrocentrics where the chromosome number is lost. So why this Robertsonian translocation occurs is it occurs due to breaks at the extreme ends of the short arms of two homologous acrocentric chromosomes, and the small acrocentric fragments are lost. The larger fragments fuse at their centromeric regions to form a single chromosome, and this type of translocation is the most common type of chromosomal rearrangement in humans. So this acrocentric chromosomes is of two types, large metacentric chromosome and also the small chromosome. And the next level is isochromosome and ring chromosome. So isochromosome is nothing but the mirror image of the chromosome. So there is loss of one arm with duplication of the other. So in this diagram you can see loss of P arm. So P arm or Q arm will be there. So either the if the P arm is lost means there will be the duplication of Q arm is produced, and if there is a loss of Q arm means duplication of P arm will be there. So it is called as isochromosome. So mirror image of the chromosome will be there, and the loss of one arm with duplication of other will be there. So in ring chromosomes, we can see the breaks which occurs in both arms of a chromosome, and the two broken ends anneal, and the two acentric fragments are lost. So which results in double deletion in P and Q. The main abnormalities in ring chromosome occurs due to epilepsy, mental retardation, and craniofacial abnormalities. So, if there is a mutation in the ring chromosome, we'll be having mental retardation and also the physical abnormalities like epilepsy and craniofacial abnormalities. So this type of chromosomal aberration can be identified in the by Ajay Singh and Pallavi Srivastava, which is applied in the journal in November 2013, induction of chromosomal aberrations by carbamate fungicide in fish Clarius batrachus, which is called as Asian catfish. So now we have to see about the chromosomal aberrations in various sea animals. So evaluation of genotoxicity level can be identified like chromosomal studies have received considerable attention in part from a growing interest in the evaluation of genotoxicity of environmental toxicants and carcinogens. So we'll be having more applications of chromosomal aberrations. So though it is having more abnormalities, it is also used in the various agricultural applications by producing chemicals, fertilizers, and pesticides, and also it is used in the evaluation of genotoxic potential is necessary to conduct adequate assaults and to produce safer and sustainable aquatic environment. So in this journal paper, we can study about the genotoxicity of various fungicides. Mancozeb concluded that acute exposure of fungicide-induced cytogenetic effects as the incidence of chromosome aberrations. So this type of genotoxicity level was positively correlated with the duration of exposure. So it mainly depends upon the duration of the exposure and also the what type of sea fish is taken. And it is plotted as a graph like x-axis and y-axis, and there will be the stable increase in the graph also be noted. So fishes of control group was maintained without any treatment, and a positive group control was treated with mitomycin C, and two experimental groups were exposed to sublethal doses of mancozeb, which is having 11.43 mg per liter and 22.87 mg per liter. So after 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, or 96 hours of exposure, so the mitotic index was significantly decreased in kidney tissue of fish, which is the less than 0.05. And these findings thus indicate that mancozeb is able to induce genotoxic effects in catfish. So we can refer this type of journals for induction of chromosomal aberrations in various animals and also in